Awesome. So thanks everyone for coming here today. A lot of people here I was hoping would show up, so thanks for coming by. We're really excited by what we have in front of us, which is one thing that we're so lucky about in Canada is how beautiful it is everywhere. That's one thing we kept on saying in Ontario is how beautiful it is to get out there, go see all the nature out there, and to come up with this announcement to have a place that is so beautiful being out there. For those of you who've been to British Columbia, we're just so honored to even have the privilege to even have this opportunity to be out in BC. So one, I want to thank everyone in this room who's helped make it happen. And two, I want to thank Joe for believing in us and starting this partnership. Joe's saying that this kind of feels like a marriage with the way it looks coming together, but that's what we truly feel because what we've been doing in Ontario is exactly what we want to do in BC. So thanks for coming, everyone. My name is Joe Cardi. I'm the CEO founder of Forge & Foster and ResortHQ. And this is Joe Bleakley. Do you want to give a little introduction on a little bit about yourself and how you got into Pathfinder?
Yeah.
And then I'll do the same on ResortHQ. A lot of people are very curious to hear from you.
For sure. Thanks, Joe. I'm Joe. I'm the founder, CEO of Pathfinder. I'll give you guys the 1 minute pitch on the company. But I founded the company as an RV camper myself. Been camping all my life and have a family with 2 young kids and a big dog. So camping's always been an attractive holiday and an affordable holiday too. And it literally, Pathfinder was born around a campfire one night with friends and family. While we were trying to book our campsite a year in advance, because that's what you have to do in BC, I thought, why don't I start my own campground business? That's literally how Pathfinder came together. In BC, it's a little bit different geographically. It doesn't move outward in the southern part of BC. It moves eastern only, and so real estate values, everything's climbed over the last few years. It's incredibly difficult to find an RV spot. So when I connected with Joe and Mark of Forge & Foster, it was a natural partnership. I'm super excited for all the opportunities that we have. Because they're doing a lot of things that we weren't even thinking about in BC. We're tourism based, we're short-term stay, and now we're thinking seasonally. We're thinking the cottage model. It's a huge win. It's kind of undiscovered in British Columbia, and there's a lot of opportunities that we're going to be talking about today. So Pathfinder, we have 3 locations that we own and operate. We operate another one as a management service, and we have a large pipeline of opportunities as well. Interestingly enough, we're also a publicly traded company. We're on the TSX Venture under the symbol RV, if anybody does stock market investing. But between what we have going on here, this presentation, and other opportunities throughout the next couple of years, I'm really excited for the outlook of Pathfinder and a partnership with Forge. So that was probably a little bit longer than you wanted.
It's all good. It's all good. And we have, we'll go through it. But exactly, I see a lot of nodding heads in the room. But exactly like you said, for us, for ResortHQ, it's been outdoors for everyone. I mean, it's hard enough to get a 2-bedroom apartment, never mind a house. And then to put a cottage on top of that, just the dream to go outside. That's really why we got started here in Ontario. And what you just said there was, thank you. What you just said there is exactly it. It's the most reasonable, high quality way to be in all the most beautiful locations in Canada. Mm-hmm. Awesome. So we'll get started over here. So what is this about? So this is about being outdoors. This is one of our resorts in Jordan Valley over here in Niagara. This is one of the earliest resorts that we've acquired. The demand for this resort is just incredible. It's about 35 minutes from out this way. And you just see, maybe it's been ever since 2020, but you just see the demand to kind of be around the trees, be outside. In this scenario, there's a beautiful forest, the Carolinian forest in the back. There's, I think it's 20 wineries within 5-minute drive, within a 20-minute bike ride. Just spectacular. I got some nods over here how beautiful it is. But these are the kinds of places that we have in Canada and in Ontario in this specific situation that are just driving so much business. So ResortHQ, we've papered over 100 sales in 2023, and we really only got started in mid-June. So that's kind of like running at between 5 and 20 sales a month. And in January, I think we've got 4 or 5 already for this month. It shows you the momentum keeps on going. There's no real sales winter for what we're doing here. So where else are we in Ontario? So lots of great spots. Ancaster Springs, beautiful site. Blue Water Village, beautiful site. Caledon's been a huge seller. Crow Valley right on the water. Galway Lake in Muskoka. Jordan Valley we just chatted about. Pinehurst, which is out in the west coast Ontario. Another one in Muskoka. And then Olympia Village. All very desirable sites, and we're continuing to grow in Ontario as well. Here's them on the map. So we got tons of lakes in Ontario, which is great, and I guess a huge summer business. But we're bucking the trend, and we're making it a 4-season business. You want to chat about this one, Joe?
Sure, Parksville. Don't tell the other campgrounds, but Parksville's my favorite place to vacation with my family. So it's on Vancouver Island. You start with the ferry ride. The second you get off the ferry, it's like life slows down. In Vancouver, everybody's driving 150K on the highway. As soon as you get onto the island, it's like everybody's doing 80 or 90. I feel like I'm, breaking the law going the speed limit. It's just a different style, different speed of life. So anyways, the second you get there, it feels like a holiday. We're located right on the Englishman River. The river has a beautiful swimming hole right on our beach.
Spectacular.
So it's with cliff jumping, everything. It's one of the most sought after places in Parksville, at a campground anyways. And right next to us is Rathtrevor Beach, which is the ocean. Very famous beach. It's a big horseshoe, and you can walk out almost half a mile and still be at your waist in depth. So anyways, there's lots to do. In the summer, it's just bustling, and in the winter, it's a nice snoozy retirement community. So it's got different aspects to it. We purchased that property in 2021. We did a $4 million upgrade to it. There's 129 full hookup sites, all 50 amp, septic water, high-speed Wi-Fi. There's a beautiful store on site. We sell a lot of ice cream, candy. It's just lined up out the door with kids and with their pennies. And so yeah, it's a beautiful spot, winter or summer. And yeah, that's
great.
A quick little intro.
And then this is some other I guess Pathfinder's part of the partnership with ResortHQ. But why don't you go ahead and chat about these beautiful parks as well?
For sure. So yeah, thanks, Joe. I mentioned Parksville. Sunshine Coast is on the Sunshine Coast, believe it or not. It's just it's a short little ferry ride off of downtown Vancouver. That area has really exploded over the last 3 years with COVID and everybody working from home. Why would you have a $3 million house in Vancouver when you can have a $1 million house on the Sunshine Coast? A lot of people commute back and forth, but a lot of people just work there. So we have some opportunities coming about there. We manage a park right there. And then in Fort Langley is kind of in the heart of Greater Vancouver, and probably the busiest campground in BC. Our staff.
It's crazy. It's a campground in downtown, downtown.
It's in Fort Langley.
Yeah, like a bustling Vancouver.
If anybody knows BC, or if you don't know BC, it's a beautiful little boutique shopping town. And yeah, it's a lot of movie sets because it just has that movie feel storefront. Agassiz Harrison is another park that we purchased in 2021. We did a $3 million upgrade there. It's only 33 sites right now, and we've just got approval for an additional 24 sites, which we hope to build out this year, and along with ResortHQ.
And just to go from being able to travel as a Canadian, these are all great spots in the summer or the winter if you're skiing or whatever. So I think it's a pretty cool, connection now, partnership that you can spend some time, say, at Jordan Valley, and then you can spend some time on Vancouver Island. You want it to be a little bit warmer in the wintertime, or you want to hit Harrison Hot Springs, which is a spectacular spot. I think there's a lot of cool travel opportunities and keeping all the dollars within Canada. Rather than always having to go to another spot, because these places are spectacular.
Can I make one more comment on that?
Yeah, go for it.
Sorry, when we picked out our locations, it wasn't just a random site anywhere. It was where the best places to be, where do travelers want to be. So Parksville, for example, I already mentioned why people want to be there. It's very busy. Fort Langley is in Greater Vancouver, but it's also a half an hour drive to anywhere downtown Vancouver, or the other way, Abbotsford, Chilliwack. So everything's within reach there. Especially one of the things we look for is to having a large population center nearby. Most of these are in population centers, but we want people to feel like they don't have to drive 20 minutes, half an hour, or an hour to get their prescription or groceries. You're away, but you're also close to everything that you need. So that's something that we always look for. And same with Merritt and Osoyoos. There's a pharmacy very close by.
Awesome. So here's some stuff. We don't have to go through all of it, but I think the high level thing, you're looking at Canadian real estate, the biggest markets, the ones that are covered, Toronto, Vancouver, BC, Ontario, a lot of the stuff we're going to see. So some of the highest prices and some of the biggest markets and some of the most liquid properties are in these two areas. And then thirdly is how many are available in BC and Ontario. So the growth potential is incredible. We're excited by that, both on the Pathfinder side and on the ResortHQ side. I was chatting with some people in the room earlier, and it's still very much so in BC, where a lot of mom and pop owners that are starting to figure out and retire and are going to be rolling into what we believe are some of our initiatives. Cool. So this is the other cool thing about what's happening is we're kind of disrupting a little bit on the hotel market as well. So I think one thing that we want to showcase is if you want to stay in BC for a night, as Joe pointed out, you could stay in a hotel or you could stay in a campground. Less and less you can stay in an Airbnb at a condo because there's so many restrictions now happening. So there's been a lot of pressure in just 2023 in particular with the housing crisis. A lot of municipalities, and BC is a big part of this, are eliminating the ability or making it so tax inefficient to do it, or other strategies where we feel like there's going to be a lot of tailwinds for us to be able to offer excellent nightly rates. So for example, hey, I'm from Ontario, I want to go skiing for a week. I'm looking at prices at the lodge, crazy expensive. I'm looking at the motel, crazy expensive. What about a campground that's 20 minutes away? We're going to be able to offer that a solution with our ResortHQ side. We're really excited about how that's going to look out. And you can kind of just see how the RevPAR or the ADR is just soaring in 2022, 2023, and 2024. So this is Ontario doing well. So the other point is Ontario, the numbers are pretty good, but the numbers in BC are spectacular. ADR, which is the average daily rate, 241, 234, 213 versus 179, 195. So the rates are about 10, 15% higher in BC. So a lot of demand, good winter demand, and for all those reasons. Anything you want to chat about in terms of how much people pay per night or what kind of businesses in summer or winter?
Yeah, maybe just a general comment that I can just include there is that as a publicly traded company, we have a lot of hotel investors that have invested in our company. So they see us as a bit of a threat to their industry because people are catching on. And yeah, there's just more creative ways to stay. So
exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the beauty of ResortHQ. What we've been doing is we're kind of disrupting three big things. We're disrupting conventional construction. We can construct our units for a fraction of what it costs for conventional. Building in a factory is better than building in a mud pit with winters. Two, we're kind of disrupting the hotel industry because if they want to build a new room, they're going to be charged 2, 3, 4 times more for the construction. So they got to charge more for a daily rate in order to break even. So we can undercut their prices easy because we're buying them at a fraction. And that's why I'm so excited about the investment opportunity we're going to offer at the end. So we're investing in conventional construction. We're also doing that with hotels. And then thirdly, we're kind of also disrupting the cottage industry too, because now you have an option to be in BC for less than $250,000, which is impossible if you try and buy. The numbers there start at $1 million. So I mean, you're seeing how much we're disrupting with the benefit of having our units manufactured in a factory. British Columbia back again. We kind of went over this. So yeah, and then lastly, population growth. Okay, what else? When you're real estate investing or investing anywhere, what else do you need? Okay, where are people moving? Are people like moving out of the country or the area, or are people moving in? One, people are moving into Canada, and Ontario is a big beneficiary of that. But the funny thing is, whenever I mention BC to somebody, I think a handful of our staff and our salespeople they already want to move out to BC already. Like it's just such a big thing to be out there, and it's so hard cost effectively. If you can do it this way, you get a lot of attention for it. So Ontario is a huge winner of this immigration. and BC as well, and maybe even more so on that side. Anything on new Canadians or people moving in or living in one of the most beautiful places in the world?
Yeah, a lot of our growth is fueled by immigration for sure. I don't really have the stats top of my head, but it's happening for sure. And yeah, it's one thing I can comment maybe is BC is in our RV parks is it's year round. We're 24/7, 365. We never close. We maybe get 1 week of snow and cold weather a year. So.
Yeah, I went down in November. I think it was like almost the perfect time to go. It was sunny. It was great for a trail walk. It was absolutely ideal. Mountains were looking beautiful. But yeah, I think in terms of like where to invest in North America, the other cool stat that I saw is that the office market in Vancouver is already turning. It's like one of the worst markets right now, or worst bear markets. And you just see the demand for being in BC is just a little bit stronger than everywhere else in the past decades. So we're so excited to be there. So this is obviously politics right now. I think you mentioned it with the hotel owners investing in us, but also with you used to be able to buy a condo in BC. You wouldn't rent it to the local long-term market because you would make more money in Airbnb. But the crackdown's happening. So all of these potential people are going to be moving into other options. They're not all going to go in hotels. Some of them are going to see that, hey, our park models are basically a hotel room. It has 2 bedrooms instead of 1 in certain instances. It has parking. It's a better option for some people. More and more in short-term rentals. I would argue, from what I've seen, almost stronger, more bans in BC over Ontario even. So you're going to see that coming down through. So this is a really cool point. So let's switch over to ResortHQ and selling a park model or buying a park model. So Tony will be out here in a second, but I think the short of it is, in Ontario with us, you can buy a park model cottage with us for about $200,000. In the area that you're buying these, let's say Caledon, for example, if you wanted to buy the same 2-bedroom condo with the same specs, with the same square footage, you would be spending, let's use Brampton and Caledon example, you'd be spending about $700,000 with parking. So you're getting a $500,000 savings by buying this 4-season park model. So that's in Ontario. The economics in BC are even greater because the prices are higher, and because the land is not as available. So land prices are higher in general. So in BC, you're looking at like $700,000, $800,000 for a 2-bedroom unit in some of these locations. Now with ResortHQ coming in, you're gonna be able to buy one of these units for we're going to be starting them at $225,000. So think about that for a second. Now think about, okay, let's just say I had $700,000 of cash and I would have bought my condo cash. You can go out and buy 1 unit in Ontario, let's say Caledon, and 1 unit in BC, and your cost would only be $420,000. You'd still be pocketing $200,000, $300,000 in your pocket to do what you do with it. And now you got a true cottage in a different destination, plus you got an awesome cottage in Ontario as well. And then when you're not there, through our Airbnb program, you can rent it out. So I think this is for independent thinkers a little bit. Maybe they take some long-term planning. But again, just because manufacturing in a factory is so affordable and our offering is so good, you're able to save significantly on this. So this is stuff that us and our salespeople can go through a little bit more, but this is the kind of stuff that really excites me on making this venture so affordable. And then this is another chart. We can send this out, but this is just talking about how your potential income in BC is going to be high because we talked about the ADR. It has more of a winter business. So we're calculating you can get $60,000 a year revenue in some of these park models. Obviously, we haven't had the chance to test it out, but those are the kind of numbers that we're receiving in Ontario. And it gives you an option, because if you do buy one of our units today from BC, you have an option to rent it out, and you won't be out of pocket and making a return. All right, so this is the Agassiz Resort. You want to talk a little bit about the features and this beautiful picture over here?
Yeah, for sure. So on the bottom is Harrison Lake, 5-minute drive. very popular destination. It's got a little beachfront town. Everybody that goes out that way, that's, you know, you have to stop in and see that, and had the chance to show Joe that quickly.
Did the walk, had the gelato.
Yeah, and then so
nice.
that's an overview of a resort. You know, a little bit of brown grass there. This picture was taken in August. That happens in BC too. It's not as green as everyone thinks it is, but yeah. And then we just purchased the property next door, which is a 2 acres. You can see that field there is going to be the other additional 24 sites that we plan to build out this year.
Great.
And then So Agassiz, all of our resorts have Pathfinder is a brand, and we're building that brand, and people recognize that. They come to our Agassiz location, and they want to go to our Parksville location, and then they want to go see Langley. Right? They're coming to see the brand. They know that we're going to have lots of amenities at each site. So that's the store that I was talking about, the high-speed Wi-Fi, everything that we've built is built to modern-day camping specifications. So what that means to me, when some people think of camping, they think of going out in the middle of nowhere with a tent. Not these days. In my mind, it's you roll up in your RV, you plug in, and you turn the music on, and you've got your outdoor fridge and everything you need. And if it rains on a Friday night, everybody goes inside, turns on Netflix. Right? That's what I see as modern day camping, and that's okay. So that's how we build our campgrounds to handle that every person on Netflix at the same time. So it's just a new way of thinking, right? It's what is the future of camping? We sell everything that we can. We call ourselves a resort, so you don't actually have to leave our site if you don't want to. We sell the ice, the firewood, the propane, everything on site. So our Parksville map. So that's the Englishman River that I spoke about. I think we've already talked about.
Yeah,
Parksville
good chat. Yeah. Here's just some of our, what's changed in this industry in the past 5 years. Well, everything's changed in my mind, because for the first time in history, a brand new condo and a brand new park model is pretty hard to differentiate. Why are these countertops so nice? Why are the appliances so beautiful? It's a little bit on that side is whoa, what's happening here? So, when it comes from the construction to the 50-year materials, roof and siding, when it comes to the finishes, condo quality, when it comes to the amenity, dishwasher, washer, dryer, air conditioner, it's all there. So there's no compelling, obvious reason why there's something missing in these park models. That is something that did not exist as early as 5 years ago. That's why things are interesting now, and that's why we're doing it right now, and that's why we're selling them now. Because people walk in there and they're like, what? They're like, a dishwasher? What? So it's a double, it's really great. So these pictures are great. This is another model. These pictures are great as well. Dishwasher, fireplace, so much natural light. You got to go inside and see one if you haven't already, but a lot of you have. Less than, not 300,000 on Vancouver Island, 400,000, 500,000. Try and find something below these numbers. This is a great way to access such a magical place in this world, and it is beautiful. The funny thing I say over there is here we use it's beautiful too, the limestone to kind of use it for dikes and to block the water systems. There they use these Douglas firs that they put right in the water, these huge pieces of wood that you're just that was crazy about Parksville, the forest around there, just instead of using stone, they're using Douglas firs or whatever tree that was. Thank you, Tony. Second thing I want everyone to be aware of is we are launching a totally separate website communication tool for the BC project. So Lori's actually was working hard yesterday to get it set up. So ResortHQ BC, please follow us on that side as well. We're going to follow that up with our own mailing list in BC. We're going to be following that up with our own social accounts and marketing campaigns. So please be aware of that. And if you are following us, just be aware that you're going to have to follow the BC thing as well, because it's a different, it's a different kind of feel, and we want to make sure that we're showing that off. And thank you. I know it's great to always see people in person, and coming out is I think it's the coldest day of the year. So you guys all put on your jackets and came out here today. Really appreciate you taking the time. And we're around to mingle. I do want to take time for any questions before we go, and also give Joe an opportunity to chat and say some closing remarks if you.
Absolutely. I just wanted to say thanks as well, and if you're listening to us, and I look forward to meeting each and every one of you if I haven't already met you. So thanks.
That's it.